What's going on, everybody? We're back again with another video, and in this video we will be doing a gun review on my Kimber Stainless 2 1911. Now this gun, I have an overall good experience with this firearm. It's my first and only 1911. And it's done fine for the most part. We'll get into some pros and cons about the gun real quick. Now first, I bought this gun from Bass Pro Shops. This is the only gun I've bought from Bass Pro Shops, and it was a fine experience. Initially, I was going to there to find, I don't know if it's the stainless one or which one it is, but it has an aluminum alloy frame and a steel slide, and it was a little bit cheaper or more budget friendly. But I seen this one and I liked the price of it, and it's all steel 1911, which is typical for 1911. So yeah, this thing is chambered in 45 ACP, so pretty big round for a pistol. And here we'll get some pros about this gun. So the biggest pro on most 1911s is the trigger pull. So you can see that's the take up. That little bit amount is the take up. You're at the wall right now, so watch. Boom. See, so that's a very short trigger. Very short trigger. Try it again. Show you one more time. Take up. So you'll go back again. Thumb my fingers off. Take up. Then boom. So it's really light. It's extremely easy to be accurate with this firearm. The sights are on another pro. They are blacked out rear with a fiber optic front. So if you can see that, it's essentially what it looks like. It's easy to pick it up. It's fiber optic, so when light shines through this thing, it's bright. So yeah, I love the sights. Honestly, I'm not sure if they're adjustable, to be honest with you. They don't look like it, but I could be wrong. But I don't really care for adjustable sights anyway, so that doesn't matter to me. Another cool thing about this gun is the front slide serrations. So you could do press checks. You could rack it from the front. What else? The gun has some weight to it. That's not really a pro in my opinion, but it's a pro in the sense that it can help with your accuracy, I guess, because the heavier gun generally is going to be easier to shoot. I love the grips, they're wood. They come with the gun. I may change these in the future, but for now they're fine. Overall, this gun is great, but it doesn't have too many pros as far as like things that are just, that pop out. You know what I mean? It's a typical 1911. Now, some of the cons. I will tell you, I did have to send this gun back to Kimber. The reason I had to send it back was because after the first 50 rounds I shot it, it was fine, but then I started going on a little bit more, and I started having malfunctions, failure to feeds mainly, right, where all I had to do was bump the slide and it went forward, and I was kind of chalking it up to maybe a break-in issue, but it just kept happening after I kept shooting, and then I called them finally because I was trying to fix it myself. I was breaking it down, cleaning it, making sure everything looked good before I even sent it back. But it kept happening, so I wasn't satisfied with this. So I just sent it back to them. Well, first I called them, and I was explaining them the issue, and they're like, oh, It's possibly a break-in period. And she's like, how many rounds did you put through? And I said, probably about like 400 rounds. She goes, oh, 250 usually is what makes them run better. And I'm like, I'm past that. So they said, well, go ahead and send it on in. We'll do all that and help you get it sent here and we'll fix it. So I sent it in. The process of sending it in wasn't bad. Went through UPS. And overall, their customer service is great. Okay, I sent the pistol in. They did their magic on it. And it's never failed me since. And I've shot it a good amount of times since then. So while the initial product wasn't 100%, satisfaction for me, they did fix it and now it's fine. So I understand Kimber gets a bad rep, and since my experience with Kimber, there were issues with this gun. So this would never be a gun that I trust with my life, but I like it just having it, 1911. Also, another bad thing about this gun is it came with a full-length guide rod, and I'll explain it. I'll probably do a video in detail about this, but okay. If you know 1911s, you know that a GI guide rod, and if you watch my cleaning video, you would have seen it. The guide rod was the piece, it's about this long, and it's the piece that goes against the link on the barrel that it pushes against it. It's about this long. That's a typical GI guide rod. It doesn't run the full length of the spring. It only runs about that length, right? Well, this one came with a full length guide rod, meaning the guide rod went the whole distance of the spring. So literally the guide rod went from probably about here all the way forward. So what that means is you basically can't take this apart with your hands. There's a special tool that they give you to do it with. It makes you where you can push it in, and I just did not like that. I'm like, why would I don't like having guns that you need tools to take them apart. I'm just not a big fan of that. So, and I was looking for like the guide rod and the plug, I also got a new, what do they call it? A spring plug, a recoil spring plug, this part right here, because the original plug was different. But, the guide rod, yeah, I changed that because I couldn't do it with my hands, but now I can take this apart with my hands. I just press this down and I can do it. But with the full length guide rod, you can't do that. Or if you can, it's extremely tough. So another thing, downside, well, these mags are okay, but these are better in my opinion. The Wilson Combats, I would spend the money to get those. But this thing hasn't really given me too much of an issue. I'm not a big fan of the mag sitting as flush as it does. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know. I just don't like that. I'd rather it stick out just like a Wilson Combat, the way it sticks out. I like it better. So anyway, what else? Obviously one of the downsides to this pistol is field stripping it is not the easiest compared to some other guns, right? Compared to your typical striker fires, compared to like, stuff like that, your Glocks, your MMPs and all that shit. This is not as easy, okay? This is gonna be a couple of more pieces and parts and harder to do with ease, and I've showed you the cleaning video, and that shows you also how to take it apart. But yeah, if you're new to guns, you're gonna be intimidated by that. So anything else of a downside? I would say for most applications, the capacity sucks. Okay, so 7 rounds. Now you can get 8-round Wilson Combat mags. Pretty sure they got 10-round mags too, but we'll go with 7 or 8 capacity. While that probably will while that's better than nothing, I wouldn't recommend it for most cases except for carry, and it would have to be a smaller gun. This is basically, all right, we'll go into the application of this gun, right? This gun is not a duty gun, a defense gun, in my opinion. At least not for today's society. It's not the best. It's not the most optimal, okay? If somebody came up to me like, oh, I want a 1911 for defense, I'm probably gonna say, yeah, probably not a good idea, okay? Because of several reasons, right? One, capacity. 7 rounds. You only get 7 rounds in this magazine with a gun that is as big as this, okay? This gun has some weight to it, okay? And it's long, okay? It's longer than your Glock 17s and stuff, full-size Glocks. It's long, and it's got weight to it, like I said. So carrying this gun is going to be more annoying, right? And in my opinion, it's not worth the extra weight to carry for the amount of rounds you have in your magazine. So at the very max, you get 9 rounds, basically, if you have an 8-round mag, while you can get you a Glock 17, right, that is a little bit smaller than this and a lot less, the weight is less as well, and it holds 17 rounds plus 1, so you get 18 rounds versus 9 rounds. So while the 1911 is an awesome pistol, right? It's an awesome design. Awesome. I love it. One of my favorites. One of the most attractive firearms that are out there. I would not recommend this for any kind of defensive application at all. Now, if you want a 1911 for defense, okay, do you. But if you're asking for my opinion on it, there's much better options, okay? There is. Like, 1911s can be finicky and stuff, and they're just, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't trust this one because I've had issues with it, but it definitely is a gun I like shooting a lot. It's a more complicated design. You got to be careful on some of them. And mine had this issue at first, but I've tried replicating it, but I can't. But with some 1911s, it's not good to let the slide slam forward on an empty chamber because you could knock the leaf spring out of alignment or whatever, and it could cause the hammer to follow forward. And I've witnessed it myself. So, and the chambering around just slows it down enough for that. So it's not the best thing to do with a 1911. Some you can, but mine, I try to recommend people not to do that because I don't want to have an issue. But overall, this gun is a cool range gun. And it's just a cool gun to have. I'd recommend majority of, pretty much a lot of any gun owner who's collecting or anything to at least have one 1911 in their collection, because that's a piece of history right there. You know what I mean? This is the start of the semi-autos essentially in America, right? And it's awesome. It's an awesome gun to have. Don't think just because it's not the best defensive pistol that it's not a good gun to own. It really is. And to be real, you could use this for defense, but I'm telling you right now, there are so much better options, way better options. You know what I mean? This for carry, concealed carry. Oh no. If you're going to use this for defense, at least make it be a home defense gun. Okay. That's the most you want to do. I would never conceal carry this firearm. No, it's way too heavy. And I understand that people like to make fun of people who complain when guns are too heavy, but I'm not going to sit here and carry this fucking brick in my pants and it only holds 7 or 8 rounds when I can carry something lighter that holds twice as much as that. You know what I mean? So, you can laugh all you want to, talking about, oh, it's too heavy, blah, blah, blah. Compared to other options, you can get a lighter gun that's going to be a little bit more comfortable for you to carry long term. So, but I mean, I guess that concludes this review. There's not much to say. I've shot, I don't know, I would probably venture to say like 600 to 700 rounds through this thing. And after they fixed it, no issues. So while I did have an issue, and that is, I'm going to be transparent about this, I did have an issue with this, but I contacted Kimber. Customer service was great. Everything went well. They did a few things like reamed the chamber. They did a few things to it, polished things, and it works just fine now. So that's pretty much it, y'all, though. If you got any questions about this firearm, just let me know in the comments below. I'll do the best I can to answer. And don't forget to like the video if you like it, and only if you like the video. Subscribe if you enjoy my content. Share if you want to share my content. And go subscribe to the Centerfire podcast channel. You know, that's me and Mark's podcast channel. Go subscribe to Mark's channel. You know, we got content for days for y'all. So, yeah, that's about it. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.